And the problem is that revolutionary leaders, if they're not known, they can cause a lot of disruptions in the wrong spaces. The second leadership type is one of my favorites to talk about. It's the revolutionary leader, right? These are the leaders that speak truth to power. They're about disrupting the status quo, right? And the problem is that revolutionary leaders, if they're not known, they can cause a lot of disruptions in the wrong spaces. So it's very important that a revolutionary leader understands what their gift is so that they can function properly. But the revolutionary leader is very important because sometimes change will not happen until the revolutionary leader is almost like a prophet, steps up and speaks out, and there's a voice that cries out in the midst of change and saying change needs to happen and it needs to happen now. Where the visionary is saying change needs to happen and we'll get to it in the future, but there are some times where change is needed now. And the revolutionary steps up and they're able to galvanize the people to move now. Both are needed. The problem with the a revolutionary leader, because they're great at communicating, they're great at mobilizing, but then what the problem with a revolutionary leader is sometimes they have to learn when to give up and transition. Because if you let a revolutionary leader stay too long, what happens is the revolution becomes a takeover, right? And because a revolutionary leader was to bring status change for that period of time, what happens is instead of passing it off to the next leader, that's the builder, they try to stay in power. And what happens is the revolutionary leader on the negative side becomes the very thing that they were fighting against. Because the revolutionary leader was designed what? To bring change. But once change happens, instead, we don't like to, as human nature, we don't like to let go. And it's very key for the revolutionary leader said, all right, we brought social change. And after the boycott is over, we got to build. And that's where the next leader comes in.